The latest on the first alert weather days in store for Friday and Saturday. We talk about the timing for the storms in central Alabama and how much rain we could see by the end of the weekend.
Yeah, we're going to be navigating another active weather period coming up, and with big events happening across our area, we talk with officials on how they're preparing to keep you safe in the event of rain and storms.
Live on your side, First Alert Weather Extra starts right now.
But first, check out this incredible footage of storms moving through New Mexico yesterday afternoon. This was captured by storm spotter Ryan Carty from Birmingport right here. This supercell bringing heavy rainfall and rain across the Vaughn area. But just an incredible view. You can even see there in one of the video clips a rain foot where the downdraft actually
I love those.
Yeah.
Those are so pretty. As long as they aren't producing any severe weather and you can watch them from far away, they're pretty nice to look at.
That's right. Yeah, as long as you're in a safe position. That's why we say storm spotting, not storm chasing.
Right. And I feel like out west, it's a lot easier to spot storms versus here. One of the dangers with that is there are trees everywhere.
That's right. Yeah, they have fewer pine trees out there, right? So listen, today I was in Bluntsville, had a great visit. I drove up to Garden City and cut over. Just a beautiful day out there today. Not a lot of rain, even though, we had some clouds. It looked like we might see some rain. There was one little shower, had a couple sprinkles, but right now we go to radar, Lauren. I'm watching, I pulled up a camera here we have in Vernon because we were seeing some clouds there. Here's Nectar, speaking of Blount County, and you can see the weather just beautiful, 84 degrees right now, but as we go to West Alabama, well, there's Oak Grove. Let's tour the state. How about that? Well, there's Vernon. So there were some clouds a few moments ago, but now the sun's back out. And if you were watching us in the last half hour, it looked like we're about to have some rain. This is what we're going to be dealing with over the next several days. We'll have some periods where we have some sunshine, we have clouds moving in, but there's a little bit of rain to the far north and west. And that's where I highlighted, I think, for the remainder of this evening, greatest risk for a shower or storm areas back to the north and west. Most of us will stay rain-free for tonight. We'll keep that rain chance only around 20% for those areas. But you can see right now a clean sweep for most of us here on First Alert AccuTrack. That one little bit of rain, that's right around Red Bay, Alabama, and that could drift in. Well, here you go. We'll take it in a little bit closer. You can see how there was a lot of lightning with that, a storm, but notice it's collapsed, it's weakened, maybe a shower that might drift in. There's Scottsville. Here's Marion County here, so our coverage area maybe far northwest around Hackleburg. You might get a passing shower as that moves to the south. But tomorrow, Saturday, rain chances go way up. We're talking about an increase in coverage of scattered storms. We're getting into that mode here, and I know we have tomorrow highlighted as a First Alert weather day, the same for Saturday, but earlier this week it looked like we might see a larger complex, more organized complex of storms into Saturday, and we need to watch out for that. Certainly could be impactful. Just know when you see us call these First Alert weather days, it's for impactful weather. And certainly when we see a clear evidence or signals that we could see, power outages and damaging straight line winds, large hail, that's when you see that. And right now it looks like tomorrow and into Saturday, we're confident we could see some scattered strong to severe storms at least. So that's why we're going to hold on to that. I think the greatest risk tomorrow is going to be 2 to 11 o'clock. Now, Saturday, right now, someone had just asked me on Facebook, and I mentioned Saturday afternoon, it looks like the greatest chance for some storms there into the evening. And the main concern, again, this go-around, it's not tornadoes. It's going to be straight line winds and large hail. But the thing is, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, this rain chance is going to carry over these afternoon storms right on into next week. This is showing you Sunday. You can see on the future radar, and we still got some storms out there. So this isn't just going to stop on Saturday. And listen, this weekend, if you're concerned about plans there on Saturday, on Sunday, just know that there will be plenty of time for outdoor activities. Just make sure you have a backup plan, ways to get those alerts just in case a storm does pop up. But we're also on your side with how these storms could impact events like City Fest and Still City Fest happening in the Birmingham area. It's just two of many events going on. Your Shelby County reporter Ajane Robinson spoke with organizers of both festivals on how they're planning for the rain.
Now, with Alabaster City Fest just days away, the skies may be cloudy, but the festival isn't flinching.
So unless it's severe weather, put on your raincoat and have a good time.
Now, Still City Jazz Fest is thinking the same way. Rain won't stop the music, but lightning might.
So when lightning gets within 5 miles, they're going to say, hey, we got to stop this.
Now at City Fest, there's a weather plan in place just in case those showers hit.
We're going to dodge those rain showers. If we need to, we'll send you to your car for a few minutes to let something pass, come right back out, and we'll have music on the stage.
And organizers say their crew knows the drill.
So they'll take all the safety precautions that they need, and grateful to have them on site, knowing exactly what to do in case of that.
They are pros. They're going to come out here and get it done. They got the ponchos, they got the umbrellas.
And this year, there's another big asset on site, WBRC's own Wes Wyatt, helping track the storms in real time.
That WBRC storm tracker is going to be right over here by the stage. I'm going to be talking to Wes Wyatt all day long.
Now, last year, when showers hit the Jazz Fest, organizers moved people to covered decks nearby.
People on this side went to the Boutwell area in the parking deck. We got another parking deck over here.
Now at City Fest, emergency shelter is only used in worst case weather, like a tornado.
This is Alabaster's tornado shelter. So the middle of the school is secured for that. So that, of course, that's a worst case extreme scenario.
Now the goal, keep the crowd safe, dry, and dancing.
And, you know, one thing about Alabaster City Fest, it's right there at Thompson High School. So you got a great shelter, you know, if there's ever any significant threats. But we are going to be talking about that risk with lightning, with all thunderstorms there over the weekend, even if they're non-severe. And that's going to be the story throughout the summer. So if you're on the lake, if you are at the pool, just make sure you have ways to get those alerts. So let's jump over here to some of those event forecasts. And when you look at this, I just wanted to let you know it's not a total washout. There will be some breaks in the mix, but there's still a chance that between 9 o'clock, 8 p.m., we could have a passing storm for some of these events out there. But City Fest, it looks like temperatures in the 80s for Festa Italiana that's happening out at Sloss Furnace. You can see even by 10 o'clock at night, we're still seeing that possibility. It was looking like we might see maybe around early mid-afternoon a chance, and then chances increase again overnight. And then for the USFL game happening on Sunday, another day, even though we don't have it called as a first alert weather day right now, we still could see some strong to severe storms, and we need to watch out for Sunday as well. But it looks like over the weekend, into next week, we are certainly entering another stormy pattern, Lauren. And, you know, that's one of the things, just check in for updates, because when we get into these complex patterns here, try to navigate the timing. One day's forecast can reshape tomorrow's forecast, or at least one day's storm. So check in for updates.
Yeah, and I think, Wes, more than anything, that's super important to do in the summer, because the summer, it's just really hard to pinpoint exactly when those storms are going to come through, where they're going to pop up. So as we go into this weekend, when we do have that threat for at least some isolated severe storms, what can you do to prepare when you're hanging out at home? Well, of course, your NOAA weather radio is always good to have. Of course, we love having that around in tornado season, that late fall, early winter, and spring severe weather season. But it's good to have in the summer too, so you can be notified of any severe thunderstorm warnings. And hey, in the tropics, when we get here in hurricane season, as we continue to progress through, it can also provide tropical warnings. And you can also get that through the First Alert weather app. And of course, if we do have the potential for some severe storms to come through, one of the main issues will be that if we have a storm that produces some intense lightning or some damaging wind gusts, that could cause trees to fall down, and those could possibly fall on power lines. So that could cause some power outages. So make sure you charge your devices. And of course, when these winds come through, they can certainly blow down anything outside. And the ground's been really saturated too, so it's not going to take much. But I would definitely secure any loose outdoor items you have. So as we go into tomorrow, there's been a question, okay, when would be that best chance to see some storms? So let's look at our severe ingredients. And you really see, as we go into tomorrow, the storm fuel, which is the colors you see. And then as we look at the potential for a little bit of wind shear in the atmosphere, this time of the year, we get into the summer months, and what you'll see that is kind of the heightened ingredient will be that storm fuel. You've got all that heat and moisture, so it really shows that maximized around the heat of the afternoon tomorrow around 3-4 o'clock. And there will be a little bit of wind energy in the atmosphere, so that could lead to some damaging wind gusts, and we could see that again as we get into Saturday. Well, scan the code on your screen to download the WBRC First Alert Weather app from your phone's app store. You'll be able to get those real-time updates as severe weather moves through the area. And in 30 seconds, we talk about when we could see showers beginning across central Alabama tomorrow and that threat for storms, plus how you can prepare your family and home for hurricane season. We'll be right back.
Is this me? Well, a beautiful setup along the Gulf Coast right now. You can see hardly a cloud in the sky, but it looks like a great evening to be there for a sunset. If you know someone there, tell them to send us a photo. We'd love to share it. Send it in on the First Alert Weather app. Tropical update at the moment. No tropical development expected within the next 7 days. And I know earlier this week it seemed like, there was all these rumors about we could see a hurricane over the Gulf of Mexico in 7 days. Nothing like that happening, or at least over the Gulf. And as we look ahead over the next 7 days, we'll be talking about rain chances increasing along coastal areas Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday. Scattered storms, scattered showers likely, high temperatures in the 80s. You can see that rain chance by Tuesday, Wednesday of next week jumping up to around 90%. Overnight lows in the 70s, but it's not a total washout. Again, Lauren, it looks like still scattered development there on the coast as well as around here.
Yeah, absolutely. So whether you're going to be hanging out here in central Alabama or by the beach, or hey, maybe you're going to the Outer Banks of the Carolinas, there's going to be a chance of thunderstorms wherever you go. So just unsettled weather in the southeast this weekend, but we've certainly been following the rain that's been moving along the Carolina coastline. You can see in North Carolina and South Carolina tracking some rain currently. You see that little area of low pressure that has developed today. This was initially what the National Hurricane Center had been outlining. It's like, hey, here off of the southeast Atlantic coast, there is that possibility, a very low chance that maybe we could see a tropical low develop, but that didn't end up happening. This ended up developing over land, and so you just don't have that warm moisture source off of the water to really feed it into a tropical system. But nevertheless, that low pressure has been producing some rain across the Carolinas, and you can see even some embedded thunderstorms that are producing some cloud to ground lightning around Myrtle Beach, Wilmington. One of our big threats going into the summertime. We talk a lot about tornadoes earlier in the year, and then in the summer we move towards more of an issue that, hey, when thunderbores go indoors, because that cloud to ground lightning can certainly be pretty potent. But you see some of the heaviest rainfall totals have been up through North Carolina and then along the coastline. So just from the past week, even though this low pressure has really made the weather kind of more unsettled over the past few days through the Carolinas, you can see almost 5 inches of rain closer to New Bern and actually near Wilmington, North Carolina, and then about 5 inches of rain closer to Raleigh and Myrtle Beach as well. So as cleanup still continues across parts of the Carolinas and other parts of the southeast after last year's hurricanes, most notably Hurricane Helene, I had the chance to speak with Joanne Carmody at Travelers Insurance about how you can prepare your family and home as we head into the Atlantic hurricane season. So can you kind of tell me, in your work, how has the frequency and severity of hurricanes changed over the past several decades?
Certainly, we are seeing that the frequency and severity of catastrophic events is on the rise. And I think one of the most important trends to note is that events are now occurring in areas that historically didn't have or only very rarely had that sort of severe incident.
And so looking at this upcoming hurricane season, I know last year's was very prolific, especially with hurricanes that came through and hit areas like Florida, Georgia, and of course the Carolinas. What can folks do as we move forward in time and anticipate this upcoming hurricane season?
So it's a great time to ask that question, given that we are just at the start of the 2025 Atlantic hurricane season, and there are absolutely things that people can do to get ready now. I think one of the first things they can consider is fortifying their property. That might include thinking about hurricane resistant doors or windows and making sure that their roof is in good condition. I think having a plan is really important. So an evacuation plan, a communication plan with your family, and if you're a business owner, having that communication plan with your employees. regular maintenance can go a long way in advance of a storm. So making sure your trees are trimmed, your gutters are cleaned, and that your drains are unobstructed. A lot of people have access to emergency power, so having a generator, making sure that you have fuel for that and that you know how to use it and use it safely in the time of an event. And also, I think considering now your insurance coverage, talking to your independent agent, making sure that you understand your policy and that you have the right coverage in place.
That definitely sounds like a good idea, being very prepped as we go into this hurricane season, because we know things can change quickly. Now, let's say the storm has come through and your area was affected. What immediate action should be taken to ensure safety after a hurricane?
So making sure that you are safe and that you stay safe is the #1 priority. So listening to local authorities, if you've been evacuated, not going in until you've been given the all clear. And when you do go back, making sure that you're looking for broken glass, sharp objects, and particularly downed power lines, which can be very, very dangerous. If it makes sense, have a qualified professional check for gas leaks and check your electrical system before you actually go back to living in your home. You should also consider protecting your property from further damage. There may be windows that need to be boarded up or your roof may need to be tarped. And so taking those steps can go a long way to preventing additional damage. And certainly notifying your insurer as soon as you can if you do have damage will also help the process.
Well, at the moment, some dry weather out there across the state. Temperatures in the 80s. It's warm. It's feeling very humid. That mugginess, it's here for the long haul, as we say. It's going to be with us through next week. Right now, 82 in Coleman, 85 in Hamilton, 83 degrees you can see from center. So even to the north, we're feeling those 80s. No rain at the moment, but tomorrow, about around this time, we're probably going to be tracking some scattered storms. And there's an increased risk tomorrow that there could be some severe storms. Now, this is the outlook from the National Storm Prediction Center out of Norman, Oklahoma. And notice they've got a lot of real estate here included in this slight risk. We're going to see this a lot. We're going to see marginal slight risk. Wouldn't surprise me if we saw more of these throughout next week, because we're going to have scattered storms in the forecast. We're going to get into an active pattern, but what we're going to do is break down each day when we expect the greatest impacts, timing, and what you can expect. And tomorrow, it looks like after 2 o'clock, the afternoon and evening, there could be some scattered strong to severe storms. So tomorrow, watching it by the evening, not every location is going to see rain tomorrow. It's going to be very hit or miss. But then as we go into Saturday as well, we're going to be seeing scattered storms. This is what Lauren was talking about earlier. Look at most of the state of Alabama is covered up in that slight risk. So again, watching for the same concern, damaging winds, also large hail. The one thing you don't see here is lightning, because every storm has lightning. So that's going to be an issue no matter where you're at. If you hear a rumble, make sure you're getting off the water, heading to a shelter, because that lightning threat is going to be there. But the storms tomorrow and on Saturday, looks like things are going to be moving along fairly quickly. So we're talking storm delays and still plenty of time for some in-between outdoor activities coming up here through the weekend. Saturday and Sunday right now, the rain chances you can see are quite elevated. So we do expect more widespread coverage, and there's still a chance Saturday we could see one of these organized complexes of storms. Matt had a great explainer on this yesterday, talking about mesoscale convective systems moving in. We've got to watch out for these groups of storms. We see that a lot. Late spring, early summer can produce some strong winds and really pack a punch. But the thing is, if we get a lot of rain Saturday, could leave us with a nice little break there on Sunday. But eventually, we're going to be talking about more of these scattered storms. You can even see Monday and Tuesday of next week. But tomorrow, first up, latest data into the afternoon. Notice the coverage. See how it's just scattered there later in the day, and then there's a chance we catch some breaks tomorrow night. And then as we move ahead to Saturday, and you can see right there another chance for some scattered storms to move in from the north and west. So watching Saturday afternoon, watching Sunday as we go over to the 10-day forecast, and you'll see there those rain chances into Monday and Tuesday of next week. But scattered storms in that long-range forecast. We were talking about stormy weather and weather safety with some kiddos today at Bluntsville Elementary School. It was summer camp at Bluntsville, or it is summer camp, and we were invited up to talk about weather safety, and it was so great seeing all the kids and second and third grade, first grade, kindergartners, and all the faculty there. They were doing a wonderful job and excited about weather, as you can hear. And Lauren, they did a great job singing some weather songs today, so we had a lot of fun.
I bet they did. Hey, Wes, you got to teach us how to play the guitar so we can have kids that excited when the rest of us come out. But you may not be excited as we look beyond the 7-day. I know it's been warm and humid this week, but surprise, surprise, as we look 8 to 14 days from now, this is looking at June 13th through 19th, it does appear that temperatures are trending a little bit warmer. So possibly we could see temperatures more so in the upper 80s, low 90s as we get into the middle of June. But also, not a surprise, look what's still sticking around as we get into the middle of the month, the potential for above average precipitation. When Wes and I were looking at the data today, you know, he was just showing the 10-day forecast, look like storms every day, and even beyond the 7-day, beyond the next 10 days, it still looked like the pattern was going to be ridiculous. So let's check it out. Here we are next Friday, the 13th, and I'm giving you a wide view so we can keep an eye on the Atlantic Basin, but you can see scattered showers and storms possible next Friday and potentially keeping that unsettled weather through next weekend. That's the 14th and 15th of June. But you'll notice we begin to see some more unsettled weather in the Caribbean and the Gulf of Mexico as we get into the week of June 16th through 17th and beyond that. There is the possibility that we could see some areas of low pressure develop in the Gulf. So we'll have to be keeping an eye on that. Remember, we'll always give you that most accurate forecast, and we'll have a final check on Weather Extra after the break.
And welcome back to Weather Extra. Well, Lauren, it's not just the next couple of days. I know we have those days highlighted for First Alert weather days, but we're going to be watching right on through next week, it looks like.
Yeah, Wes, it's just that rinse and repeat pattern. Storms around each day. This may be the driest day in the 10-day forecast.
There you go.
Good luck, y'all.
Looks nice out there. Hey, we'll have updates for you tonight, first at 9.